Hello everyone, welcome to the Mercury Virtual. Hope you are doing good. Today I'm going to start with chapter number 2, that is representing and manipulating information. Means how to represent and how to manipulate the information in computer system. But before that, let's take a quick review or quick recap of the previous class, that is yesterday's class. So in yesterday's class we have discussed what is cache memory. Cache memory is a memory that lies between computer, that is CPU, and the main memory. It is a fast memory that is accessible by the CPU so that its execution time is very small, so that user can perform the task, user can operate the task very easily with the help of cache memory. Then we have seen what is cache memory, what is the meaning of the cache memory, how cache memory works. This is a cache memory that lies between main memory and the CPU. There are different kinds of cache memory like L1, L2, L3. Then we have also studied what is storage devices forms a hierarchy. Means what is a storage device that forms a hierarchy. Means what is the memory hierarchy that is available in computer system. Then we also talked about what is computer organization, that is what is the hierarchy of the computer, how different memories or how different memories of in a computer organized in a proper manner, organized in a different format. This is the diagram for the hierarchy of the memory or memory hierarchy. First one is L0, that is known as the registers. Then L1, that is known as the L1 cache. Then L2 cache, L3 cache. Then L4 is main memory, that is also known as dynamic RAM, that is DRAM. Then L5 is local secondary storage. Then L6 is remote secondary storage. So these are 6 categories of the memory. Then we also talked about what is operating system, that is manages the hardware. As I told you in the earlier classes also, operating system is nothing but acts as a mediator between hardware and the user. So whenever a user wants to contact or use the hardware, then he or she may contact with the help of operating system. So if a person wants to use the computer, then that can be done by using the operating system. So this is the operating system that lies between application program and the main memory, that is input-output devices. Then there is another term, that is abstraction, that is also provided by a operating system. Then we also talked about what is a process in computer system. Means what are the processes that is available in computer system. There are different processes that CPU must execute. A process is nothing but a program in execution. So whenever a program is executed in a computer, that is known as the process. So a process is the operating system abstraction for a running program. Multiple processes can run concurrently on the same system, and each process appears to have exclusive use of the hardware. Means more than one process are executing at the same time, and that process is known as concurrent or concurrency. Means more than one process are executed at the same time. When operating system performs this interleaving with the mechanism, that is known as the context switching. Means when more than one process are executed at the same time, that is known as context switching. This is the diagram that shows multiple processes, that is process 1, process 2 are executing at the same time. First of all, there is a read operation, then there is a user code, there is an interrupt, there is a return, and there is also a read operation. Means more than one process are executing at the same time, and that is known as the context switching. Then we also talked about what is a thread in the computer. This says a thread means a process that actually consists of multiple execution units. Means a single process is executed at multiple times, that is known as threads. Then we also talked about what is virtual memory. Virtual memory is nothing but a memory that is in addition to the main memory. Suppose my data is not fitted into the main memory. So I can use the virtual memory so that my data can be retained and stored, and no one user can access it without the permission of the owner. Means in addition to the main memory, we can use the virtual memory. Then we also talked about what is program code, what is the syntax or what is the diagram for virtual memory, what is heap, shared memory, stack. Then we also talked about what is a file in computer system. A file is nothing but a sequence of bytes that contains data as well as numbers, format, anything that contained in the file is known as the files. So a file is a sequence of bytes, nothing more and nothing less. This is the one of the important line. Every input-output device, including disk, keyboard, display, and even network, is modeled as file. Then we also talked about how different systems communicate with each other with the help of network. A network is nothing but a collection of computers. So whenever I want to connect to the computer, I want to connect one system to another system. That is known as that is done by the network. So network is a collection of computers that is needed by the user to communicate with each other. This is the network file. There is a network adapter that is used for connecting to the network. Then how we can connect to the network? By using the telnet program. There is a telnet program that is used for running or for using the network. So there is a network or there is a protocol that is known as telnet. The full form is telecommunication network. There are multiple steps. These are the 5 steps that we are using while using the telnet program over a network. Then we also talked about what are the important themes available in computer system. Means what are the different definitions, different topics or different criteria are available, like concurrency, parallelism. Then there are multiple types of concurrency like third level concurrency, instruction level parallelism, single instruction multiple data, that is SIMD parallelism. Then we also talked about what is the importance of abstraction in computer system. Abstraction is nothing but hiding the background details and giving only the important details. Means showing only the important details to the user and hiding the background details in the computer system. Then we also talked about summary, that is what is covered in chapter number 1. Now today I am going to start with chapter number 2, that is representing and manipulating information. As the name advises, representing and manipulating information means how we can represent and how we can manipulate the information in computer system. Representation means how we can represent the data or how we can represent the file with the use of multiple number system like hexadecimal number system, binary number system, octal number system. So there are multiple methods by which we can represent our information. As well as there is a new concept that is manipulating information, means how we can manipulate the information in the computer system. So there are 2 topics involved, that is representation and manipulation. Representation means representing the information and manipulation means performing the operations on the data that is stored in computer system. So first topic is information storage. So starting with the first topic, that is information storage. This includes storage media, storage technology and volatility. Storage media is the hardware in which information is physically stored. So a media is a device in which different items or different media or different information is physically stored. This differs from the storage device, which is usually the docking base for the storage medium. One example means one of the best example for storage device would be CD, DVD, disk drive. Means compact disc and the digital versatile disc in which you can place your disc when inserting them into your computer or your USB flash drive. The full form of USB is Universal Serial Bus. Flash driver or drive reader. Storage media would be the actual CD or DVD disk itself or the memory within which your computer known as RAM. So storage media is nothing but a technology or a media in which we can store the data. The best example for storage media is RAM, that is random access memory. This says storage media can be internal or external, meaning that it can either hardwired or to the computer like the hard drive, that is the internal part, or it may be used like a USB flash drive, that is your external part, like iPod is your external hard drive. So there are two categories of storage media. One is internal and another one is external. Internal means that is attached to the computer, that is inbuilt into the computer, like hard drive, that is your internal device. And external device means that is attached to the computer, that is not a part of the computer, like your iPod, like your USB flash drive. Internal storage media is usually faster because it is wired to the desktop or laptop and does not require any extra space outside of computer. So information storage means where we can store the data. There are so many kinds of information storage like CD, DVD, and we can divide the main category into two parts, that is internal hard drive or external hard drive. Internal hard drive means a hard drive that is attached to the computer internally, that is known as the internal hard drive, and external hard drive means that is attached to the computer externally, so that we can access or we can use with the help of computer. On the other hand, external media is very mobile and can be transferred from one computer to another rather quickly and easily, secured in a safe space separate from your main working computer. So this is the external media that is external to the computer, that is not a part of the computer. On the top of this, the non-volatility of these storage media have made them very valuable. Normally, when a computer is shut down, any unsaved information wiped clean from the RAM. Or if the information is not been used while the computer is still on, the RAM may delete it to make the room for processes being called more frequently. So this means that whenever you shut down the data and you have not saved the data, then automatically the data will be removed. That is done by the RAM. These are the multiple information storage that we can use in computer system. Storage media on the other hand saves data despite the computer being powered down. Means whenever we use the storage media like CD, DVD, it can store the data and it cannot delete the data even though my computer is shut down. Because of this, storage media such as flash drive, data CDs are used for anything that could be recorded for future reference. So this is the main advantage, means the data cannot be removed with the use of the external media. Now let's see in the book. I can represent with the help of PPT as well as with the help of book, so that you can understand the concept in an easy way with the help of PPT, and you can read this book material as per your requirement, as per your need. This says most modern computers store and process information as a two-valued signal that is known as bits. There are multiple types of signals like decimal, binary. We can interpret the signals. We can interpret like a 2's complement encoding, floating point encoding, overflow. So starting with the first topic, that is information storage. This says rather than accessing individual bits in memory, most computer uses blocks of 8 bits. As I told you in the last class, we can use the bits, that is a combination of 8 bits is known as the bytes, are the smallest addressable units of the memory. Means whenever we have to store the data, we can use the bit, byte, kilobyte, gigabyte and so on. A machine level program views memory as a very large storage of bytes referred to as the virtual memory. Each byte represents a virtual address. This says the actual implementation uses a combination of random access memory, which I told you that is used for storage purpose, disk storage, special hardware and operating system software to provide the program with what appears to a monolithic byte array. This paragraph says we can use the chapter, we can discuss in the last class that how compiler works and how compiler takes the data from the user and how it is converted into multiple parts. So compiler is used for compiling the data and we can store the data with the help of computers. This says the C compiler also associates type information with each pointer so that it can generate different machine level code to access the value stored at the location designated by the pointer depending on the type of that value. So the meaning of this line is that the C compiler, that is compiler that converts the code into the machine language, uses different codes or uses different machine level code to change the byte or to change the storage media into the machine level language, because computer understands only machine level language. So it is very mandatory or it is very necessary to change the data into the machine level language. So this is done by the information storage that is stored in the data like storage media, that is example is CD or DVD. Then 1.1 means hexadecimal notation. Means now the main topic starts how data stored in the computer. The main topic is information storage. Now there are multiple examples how we can store the data. So the first topic, the first example is hexadecimal notation. Now let's see what is hexadecimal notation. As I told you in the last classes or in the starting classes, what is hexadecimal number system? There are 4 types of number system. One is binary, then octal, then decimal, and then hexadecimal. So this is one of the number system that is available in computer system. The hexadecimal number system, also known as just hex, is a numeral system made up of 16 symbols. So it is made up of 16 symbols and it has a base 16. The standard numeral system is known as the decimal, that has a base 10 and uses 10 symbols, starting from 0 and ending with 9. As I told you, there are 4 types of number system. One is binary, then octal, then decimal, and then hexadecimal. And the standard number system is decimal number system that have a base 10, that have a value or symbol from 0 to 9. Hexadecimal uses the decimal numbers and includes 6 extra symbols. Means in addition to the decimal number, hexadecimal contains 6 extra symbols. Hexadecimal contains 6 extra symbols in addition to the decimal number system that starting with A, B, C, D, E and F. This means first of all there are 9 numbers or there are 10 numbers that start with the 0 and ending with the 9, and there are 6 additional symbols that start with the A and ending with the F. So there are 6 extra symbols, that is A, B, C, D, E, F, and A is denoted by 10 and B is denoted by 11, C is denoted by 12, D 13, E 14 and F 15. This is a decimal number system. Then humans tend to use the decimal number system. This is probably because humans have only 10 fingers, that is only used for calculating the 10 digits. Computer, however, only have on and off, known as binary digit or bit for short. A binary number system is just a string of zeros and ones. For convenience, engineers working with computer tend to group bits together. In the earlier days, such as in 1960, they would prefer 3 bits at a time, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these 3 bits are used to represent on or off, that is 8 numbers are used from 0 to 7, that is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. And its equivalent conversion is, if I want to calculate 0, 1, 0, that is 2. 0, 1, 1, that is 3. 1, 1, 0 is 6, 111 is 7. This is known as the octal number system. Then if this says as computer got bigger, means the size is the memory capacity and the content is got bigger in the computer system. It was more convenient to group together 4 bits at a time instead of 3 bits at a time, because 3 bits are used in the octal number system. Now it's a time to add up, or it's a time to club up 4 bits at a time. The additional bit can be grouped as either on or off, that is a 0 or 1. So this doubles the number system that the group would represent. This is a 16 number. So this is a hexadecimal number system, that is hex equals to 6 and decimal equals to 10. So it is known as the decimal number system. 4 bit is known as the nimble. Always 4 bit is known as nimble and 8 bits is known as byte. A nimble is one hexadecimal digit and is written as a symbol 0 to 9 or A to F. 2 nibbles forms a byte. So if I combine 2 nibbles, because one nibble is 4 bits and another nibble is also for 4 bits. So when I combine 2 nibbles, that is known as the byte, and that contains 8 bits. Then this said most computer operations uses the byte or a multiple of byte like 16 bits, 24 bits, 32 bits, 64 bits. Hexadecimal makes it easier to write these large binary languages. So this is the concept of hexadecimal number system. Now next is how we can convert the binary number system into the hexadecimal number system. Changing a number from binary to the hexadecimal number system uses a grouping method. Means we can create the group of 4 pairs. Suppose I want to group this one. This is the figure. So the first group is 1 0 1 0. This is 1 0 1 0. And the another group is 0 1 1 0. That is your starting point. That is your 4 bits. So I can divide into 4 bits. First one is 4 bits. Another one is 4 bit and another one is 4 bit, that is 0 1 and 0 1. So I can group into 2 parts. Then if this is an example, first of all there are 4 bits like this 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 0, then 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1, then 0 1 1 0 0 1 1 0. So I can calculate the 0 1 1 0, that is 6, and 0 1 0 1 is 5, as I told you in this one. So the this value 0 1 1 value is 6 and this value is 5. So the output is 65. Now this is another example. This value is 4, then this value is your 11, that is your B. Then this value is your 6, that is your 4B6. Then next example is that I can divide into 4 bits. This is 4 bits, 1101, then 0101, 0111, this is 0111, then 0101, 0101, and then 1010. That is this value is B, then 7, then 5, and then A, that is your 10. And D value is 13. So this is 13, 7, 5, 10. That is D, 7, 5, 8. Because I can represent, or I will represent D as 13 as a D and the 10 as a, or 11 as a B and 10 as a A. Now let's see how can I calculate 0 1 1 0. Starting with 0, it is multiplied by 2 power 0. 2 power 0 is 1, and when 1 is multiplied by 0, that is a 0. Next, this is 1. Now 2 power 1 into 1, that is your 2. Next, 2 power 2 into 1, that is your 4. Now if I add 4 plus 2, that is known as 6. So this is the output is 6. Now, if I want to calculate this one, 2 power 0, that is 1 into digit, that is 1. So 1 into 1, that is 1. 2 power 1 into 0, that is 0. 2 power 2 into 1, that is 4 plus 1 is 5. Output is 5, that is 65. So this is how we can calculate. First of all, convert or group the binary number into the chunks of 4 number into the group of 4 digits, that is 0110 and 0101, and then calculate by using 2 power 0 into digit plus 2 power 1 into digit, as I told you in the first two classes. 2 power 2 into 1 plus 2 power 3 into 0, and so on. Means starting from the right bit, that is 0, and going from right to left by using the plus signs. In the same way, this one, starting from right digit, that is 1, using 2 power 0 and going from right to the left and use the addition sign, addition operation in between the digits. So the output is 65. In the same way, I can calculate this one. Now let's see how I calculate. This is 0, that is 2 power 0 into 0. Now let's see with the help of paint. Suppose this is 0, 1, 0, 0. Suppose I want to calculate this one. So 2 power 0 into 0 plus 2 power 1 into 0 plus 2 power, 2 power, this is 2 power 2 into 1 plus 2 power 3 into 0. So if I calculate 2 power 0 into 0, so this is 0. 2 power 1 into 0, that is 0. 2 power 2 into 1, that is 4. So the output is 4. Here the first figure is, here this is 0100, so the first figure is 4. Now in the same way, if I want to calculate 1011, the same figure, if I write 1011, so this is 2 power 0 into 1, that is your 1. 2 power 1 into 1, that is your 2. 2 power 2 into 0, that is your 0. 2 power 3 into 1, that is your 8. So if I add these one, so the output is 8, 11, and 11 is represented by character B. This is how we can calculate. The output is B. So this is how we can calculate multiple numbers. Means first of all, divide it into chunks of groups of 4 numbers, 4 digits. Then use this one and use this one to calculate the binary into the decimal number or hexadecimal number, and then club up the output. Now let's see changing a number from binary to hexadecimal using the grouping method. The binary number is separated into group of 4 digits. As I told you, there are grouping of 4 digits starting from the right. These groups are then converted to the hexadecimal digits as shown in the chart for the hexadecimal numbers, that is 0 through F. To change from hexadecimal, the reverse is done. The hexadecimal digits are each changed to binary and the grouping is usually reversed. So this is how we can convert. Now next is hexadecimal and decimal. Now it's a time to convert hexadecimal to the decimal number system. This method, the method is more commonly done when converted it manually. Use the decimal value for each hexadecimal digit. For 0 to 9 it is the same. but for A it is 10, as I told you, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Second point is keep a sum of the number converted at each step below. Start with the least significant bit, means the right hand side bit, hexadecimal digit, that is the digit on the right hand. This will be the first item in the sum. As I told you, start with the right hand side. Then take the second least significant bit, that is to the next to the digit on the right hand. Multiply the decimal value of the digit by 16. Add this to the sum. Why multiply by 16? Because the second part or the second bit is 16 power 1, that is only 16. Do the same operations for the third least significant bit, but multiply it by using 16 power 2, that is 16 squared or 65, because the 16 square is 256. Add it to the sum. In the same way, continue for each digit. Multiply each place by another power of 16, that is 4096, 6536 and so on. This is the method how we can use. This is the value. These are the multiple values. 16 power 0 into 1, 16 power 1 into 2, 16 power 2 into 3, that is 256, 16 power 3, that is at 4th location, 5th location and 6th location. So whenever I starting from the right side, I use 16 power 0, then 16 power 1, 16 power 2, 16 power 3, 16 power 4 and 16 power 5. This is the example. Suppose I want to convert 5FH, that is hexadecimal, into decimal number system. Means I have to convert 5F into the decimal number system. So this is hexadecimal number system, that is 5F. So starting with first one, that is your 16 power 0, that is 1 into 15, because the F value is 50 and this one is 16 power 0 and this F is 50. Then use the plus sign. Then 16 power 1, that is only 16 into 5, that is this digit. Then sum of all the contents, all the figures, all the calculations. 16 into 5 is 80 and 15 into 1 is 50. So if I combine these one, that is your 95. So if I convert 5F into decimal number system, so the output is 95. I'm repeating again. I have to convert 5F into decimal number system. So start with the right hand digit, that is your least significant bit. Use 16 power 0, that is only 1 into F. F is 15. So 16 power 0, that is 1 into 50. Then 16 power 1, that is 16 into next digit, that is your 5. So if I add these one, that is 80 plus 15, that is your 95. This is how we can use the hexadecimal number system in the computer system. Now let's see in the book. In the same way, book also mentioned a single byte consists of 8 bits. In a binary notation, it is from 000 to 11111. And this is your decimal notation that has a base 16. It's a hexadecimal number system, or simply known as hex, that starts from 0 to 9 along with the characters from 0A to F. So this is the same concept, from starting from 0 and to 9 and then A to F. This is one of the example of the hexadecimal number system, FA1D37B and base 16. This is the hexadecimal digit, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the decimal number digit, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Binary number digit is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0 and so on. And this is the hexadecimal number system, 8, 9, then A, B, C, D, E, F. Then decimal number system is after 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And the binary is also going from 0 to 50. This is how we can calculate from hexadecimal number system into the decimal number system and binary number system. This is your hexadecimal number system. This is your binary number system. Hexadecimal, binary number system. Binary, hexadecimal. Now, this is your practice question. You have to do on your own. If you have any doubts, then please clear with me. First question is OX39A7F8 is converted into the binary. Means you have to convert 39A7858 into the binary number. Then uses the binary number and that converted into the hexadecimal using 4-4 pairing. Then next topic is your words. Now the next topic or next part of information storage is word. Till now we have covered information storage, and one of the methods for information storage is hexadecimal number system. Means we can store the data with the help of hexadecimal number. Now the next topic is storing the data in the computer system with the help of words. This says in computer architecture, a word is unit of data. A word is unit of data of a defined bit length that can be addressed and moved between storage and the computer processor. Usually, the defined bit length of a word is equivalent to the width of the computer data bus, so that a word can be moved into a single operation from storage to a processor register. Means we can use the word for storing the data or for converting or for giving the data from one place to the another, from one memory to another memory. This says usually the defined bit length of a word is equivalent to the width of the computer data bus, so that a word can be moved into a single operation from storage to a processor register. For any computer architecture with the 8-bit byte, the word will be some multiple of 8 bits. That is, a word is of 32 bits or 4 continuous 8 bits. In Intel PC processor architecture, a word is of 16 bits or 2 continuous 8-bit bytes. Means if I combine 2 bytes, that is your 8 bits, that forms a 16 bit. Some computer processor architecture supports a half word, which is half the bit length of a word, and double word means we can either use word or simple double word, that is a combination of 2 bytes, that is 8 plus 8, 16 bits, which is a 2 contiguous word. Intel processor architecture also supports a quad word, 2 contiguous double word, as well as the double quad word and 2 contiguous quad word. Means we can use the word concept for combining or for transferring the data from one part to the another, and that includes multiple parts like bit, byte, kilobyte, megabyte, nibble, and so on. Now let's see in this book. This is every computer has a word size indicating the nominal size of integer and pointer data. So we can maximize or we can use the virtual address for encoding the word. The most important system parameter determined by the word size is the maximum size of the virtual address space. That is, for a machine with the W-bit word size, the virtual address can range from 0 to 2 power W minus 1. Most personal computer today uses a 32-bit word size. This is one of the important line, that mostly computer even today uses a 32-bit word size. That is the virtual address space to 4 gigabit, that is 4 GB. So this is one of the important line, that most computer uses a 32-bit word size in a computer. Next topic is your data sizes. Meaning of data sizes means what is the size of data that we can use in computers. But before this, let's take 5 to 10 minutes break and then come back and starting with 1.3, that is data sizes. So let's take 5 to 10 minutes break. Now let's start with another topic, that is your data sizes. As the name advises, data sizes means what are the sizes for the data that is available in computer system. There are multiple categories. First one is your type, then storage size, then value range. These are the data sizes in the C language. That is your first of all type. Type means a data type. If a character is performed, if a character is made, then a storage size is only 1 byte and its value is ranging from -128 to 127 and from 0 to 255. And there are multiple types of char also. That is your unsigned char that contains only also 1 byte and the range is 0 to 255. And there is a signed char that is also 1 byte and the range is -128 to 127. And another data type is that is int. If I am using any digit or number, then I have to use the int character or the int data type. Then the byte used for int is either 2 or 4 bytes. There are different categories of int like unsigned int that takes 2 or 4 bytes and the range is from 0 to 65535 and from 0 to 4294976295. And there is also a short int that contains only 2 bytes and the range is from -3 to 7682 32767. There is also a long data type that takes or that contains 4 bytes and there is also unsigned long that contains also 4 bytes. These are the data sources or data sizes that is available in computer system while we are performing any operation or while we are doing any coding in programming language. These data sizes are in use. Now, these are the data sizes in C languages. This says computers and compilers support multiple data formats using different ways to encode data such as integers, float as well as different length. Means we can either use int, either use char, either use float, either use double or either use characters. Means either we can use the digit, either we can use the text, either we can use the multiple floating numbers that is of different categories, that is 2, 4, 8 bytes. Byte means 8 bits. If a data or if a data type is of 2 bytes, that means there is a 16 bits because 1 byte is of 8 bits and the combination of 2 bytes is of 16 bits. The C language supports multiple data formats for both integer and floating point data. This is your C declaration, that is char. It takes 1 byte, 1 byte, short int 2 bytes, 2 bytes, int 4 bytes, 4 bytes, long int. If there is a 32-bit processor, it takes only 4 bytes, and if there is a 64-bit processor, it takes 8 bytes. This says the number of bytes allocated varies with machine and compiler. This chart shows the various values typical of 32-bit and 64-bit machine. Now, next is address and byte ordering. So we can address or we can order the byte according to the requirement of the programmer. So we can order or we can give the address, order to the address, so that we can evaluate or we can evaluate the data in a computer system. For ordering the bytes representing an object, there are two conventions, that is consider at W-bit integer, or we can use the little endian or big endian. This is the little endian, that is your different category, and there is a little endian. This is a program in a C language. Next is representing the strings. As I told you, there are multiple ways to represent the data in the computer system, like int, long, double, and there is also a way to represent the data in a text form, that is known as the representing string. A string is nothing but an array of characters. Array means combination. Array means group or clutter or block. Means whenever I say a string in C, that is encoded by an array of characters, that is group of characters, terminated by the null character that having a correct value 0. Means whenever I have to write the string that is Harry, suppose for example Harry, that must be starting, or that must be a combination of characters HARRY. This is a combination of characters that is known as the string, and it is always terminated by the null character, that is your zero value character. Each character is represented by some standard encoding, with the most common being the ASCII character code. As I told you, there is a ASCII character code, that is American National Standard Code for Information Interchange. Now, let's see what is the ASCII character. This is your ASCII characters. This says computer operates using numbers. Therefore, there need a way for a computer to convert letters and other characters to and from numbers so that they can be stored inside the computers and manipulated by the computer. A set of codes known as the ASCII code, that is American Standard Code for Information Interchange, are used. These were initially developed for tasks such as sending documents to printer, and many of the commands make sense in this context. Each letter is assigned a value according to its position with the ASCII table. As I told you in the first chapter, each and every individual letter, character or symbol have a ASCII value in the computer, that is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Every letter, number, punctuation mark, and so on is given by a unique code. Note that there is a difference between the 8-bit binary representation of the data and the corresponding ASCII code printing character. This is the ASCII code characters. Now, next is you are representing the code. Representing the code means how we can use the coding in the C language. This says, consider the following C function. This is the C function, that is int sum, int x, int y. First of all, int is your return type, means it returns the data, or it returns the data in the form of int. Int means in the form of discrete value that is in whole number, means there is no fraction in the sum. This says int sum, bracket open, that is parenthesis, int x comma int y. That is, int x means these are the variable. I can use two variables, that is one variable is x and another variable is y, and I can add these two numbers or these two variables, that is x plus y, that is return x plus y. So starting with first line, int sum means the sum is the function name that is used for addition, and int is the return type, means whenever I return or whenever the sum function returns any value, that must be in a discrete form, that must be in a discrete value. So that is int sum, bracket open, that is int x comma int y, then return, curly braces open, return x plus y, means after performing or after doing the operations, there is a function named int sum that returns x plus y value. Suppose I have a value 10 in x, I have a value 20 in y. So if I use this command, that is return plus x plus y, so x has a 10 value and y has a 20 value. So the output is 30, because 10 plus 20 is 30. So it gives the rate value, that is 30, with the help of this function. So this is how we can represent the code in the computer system. Now, next is your introduction to Boolean algebra. This is one of the important topic and the easiest topic in computer system, how we can represent the Boolean algebra in computer system. This says the operation of almost all modern digital computer is based on two-valued or binary number system. As I told you, the most general format used in computer system is binary number system, that is in form of zeros and ones. Binary number system were known in ancient Chinese civilization and by the classical Greek philosophers who created a well-structured binary system known as the propositional logic. Propositions may be true or false. Means we can give the proposition may be either true or false. The value is either true, that is 1, or value is either false, that is 0, and are stated as a function of other propositions which are connected by three basic logical connectivities, or three basic logical connectivities, that is and, or, not. So these are the three categories or three logical connectors that is used in Boolean algebra. I am repeating again, Boolean algebra is nothing but a decision-based algebra in which we have to take decisions based on the three logical connectivities, that is your and, or, not. And is used for multiplication. Suppose I want to multiply two numbers, that is used by the AND operation. And suppose I want to add two numbers, that is sum of the two numbers, that is done by the OR. And if I want to reverse the number, that is done by the NOT. So this algebra, Boolean algebra, contains three parts, that is your AND, or, NOT. AND is used for multiplication and denoted by the dot operator. OR is used for addition and denoted by the plus operator, and NOT is used for reversing the digit and denoted by the complement operator. For example, the statement I will take an umbrella with me if it is raining or the weather forecast is bad. Means I have to take the umbrella, or I will take umbrella with me for the safer side if it is raining outside, or if weather forecast is bad. Means the weather forecast is that there will be a rain in the coming days or in the coming hours. So I will take the umbrella. This connects the proposition, that is I will take an umbrella with me, functionally to the two proposition, that is it is raining and whether the forecast is bad. So this combines two propositions, that is if it is raining and whether the forecast is bad. We can see that the umbrella proposition can be fully determined by the raining and the weather ones. In functional terms, we can consider the truth value of the umbrella proposition as the output of the truth value of the other two ones. The meaning of OR connective means the meaning of the OR connector is that the corresponding output is true if either one of the input proposition is true. Means in the AND connector, if both the conditions, if both the propositions are true, then only the output will be the true. But in the OR operation, in the OR connector, if any one of the input is true, then the output is true, otherwise the output is false. There is a difference between AND and OR. I am repeating again. In AND operations, if both the inputs are correct, then the output is correct. But in AND operation, if both the inputs are correct, then the output is correct. But in the OR operation, if any one of the outputs it is correct, then the output is correct. Means if both the inputs are correct, then the output is correct in AND operation, and one of the input is correct, then the output it is also true in the case of OR operation. Otherwise it is false. Since there are only two possible values for any proposition, we can easily calculate a truth value for I will take an umbrella for all proposition input conditions. This produces the truth table of the basic OR operation. So this is the OR operation. If it is raining, bad forecast, umbrella. Means if there is a raining condition and if there is a bad forecast condition, then I can take the umbrella. So this says if it is raining, means there is no raining and there is no bad forecasting, then the output is false, because there is no input true in the case of raining or the bad forecast. Another one is it is not raining outside, but the forecast for the weather or the weather forecast is that it is bad. Means this is a not good forecast, or not good weather, so it might be that rain may come, so the output is true. As I told you, if any one of the condition, if any one of the input is true in case of OR operation, then the output is true. Then if it is raining and weather forecast is that there is no rain, so means there is negative weather forecast, so the output is also true. And if both the conditions, if both the inputs are true, then output is also true. These are the multiple conditions. In simple terms, if any one of the input is correct, true, then the output is true. Then next says we can make the proposition as complex as we require. For example, if we want to include the propositions, I will take the car, we may take a statement like, if I do not take the car, then I will take the umbrella if it is raining or the weather forecast is bad. To find the correct block diagram to state the proposition to indicate the proposition. Now let's see with the help of book. This is Introduction to Boolean Algebra. Boolean algebra means we can use the mathematical functions, and this is denoted, or this is published, or this is activated by the person that is known as George Boole. That's why it is known as the Boolean algebra. There can be a logical value that is either true or false, as binary number 1 means true is represented by 1 and false is represented by 0. This is a condition. An example, consider a case where W equals to 4 with arguments A equals to 0, 1, 1, 0. This is 0, 1, 1, 0, and there is a B that is 1, 1, 0, 0. Suppose I want to take the AND operation. There the 4 operations are A and B. This is the AND operation. A or B, A not B, and this is only not B. So if I have to take AND operations, 0, 0 means both the conditions are false, then the output is false. 1, 0, as I told you, in AND operation, both the conditions or both the input are true, then the output is true, otherwise false. In this, there is only one input that is true, so output is false. True is only one, that is only one true, that is one denoted by one binary number, and another input is false, so the output is false. In this, both the inputs are true, then the output is true, that is 1. In this, only one input is true, then the output is false. Means in AND operation, if both the inputs are true, then the output is true, otherwise output is false. This is the AND operation. This is the AND operation. In this, either one of the condition, either one of the input is true, then the output is true. That is 0, 0, both are false, then the output is false. In this, 1 is true, output is true. In this, 1 is true, or both the conditions or both the inputs are true, then the output is true. Last one is one of the input is true, then the output is true. Then there is a NOT operator, that is 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Then there is a negation sign. 0 is converted into 1, 0 is converted into 1 means simply reversing the digits, and 1 is converted into 0, 1 is converted into 0. Means 0 is converted into 1 and 1 is converted into 0. This is your practice exercise. You can fill the categories, you can do the exercise as per your need, as per your requirement, as per your time. Then next topic is bit level operations in C. Then the next topic is bit level operations in C, means how to use the, or how we can mold the bit level operations in C. Means how we can do the bit level operations that is done bit by bit in C language. This says one useful feature of C is that it supports bitwise Boolean operations. Bitwise means we can do the operations bit by bit on bit by bit or on one bit at a time. In fact, the symbols which we have used for Boolean operators are used in C, that is OR, and NOT, and for exclusive OR. This can be applied to any integer data type, that is one declared at type char, int, with or without qualifiers as short, long, double or unsigned. Means we can use the same logical operator, same Boolean algebra in C language also, that is known as bit level operations in C. Next is your logical operations in C. In the same way, there is a bit level operations. Nelda. Char data type is that when we are using the text character, suppose I want to print HARRY in C language, then I can use the char data type. Suppose I want to print numbers, that is 10, 11, 12. So that is done by the int data type. So there are multiple data types to represent different numbers or different characters. Then 1.9 is logical operations in C. In the same way, there are so many bitwise operators. In the same way, there are some logical operators in C that is denoted by this sign and or, and or, not. This is and sign. There are two pies and there are two and logical and. There is a node, that is your this sign, which correspond to the or and not operations of logic. So this is in your mind that these are the multiple logical operations in C. Next is your integer representation. Till now we have covered how we can store the information in the computer system. Now next topic is integer representation. I think that's enough for today's session, because this is a new topic, so I want to start with the new day, that is tomorrow's. So I think that's all for today's session. But before pointing or before giving the doubts, I can recap the whole things which we have covered in today's class. Today I'm started with chapter number 2, that is representing and manipulating the information. This contains 5 topics, 4 topics or 5 topics. First one is information storage, that I have finished today itself. Then second one is integer representation. Then third one is integer arithmetic. Fourth one is floating point, and last one is summary. So I started with information storage. What is information storage? Whenever we store the data, that is known as the information storage, that is stored in storage devices, that is CD, DVDs, floppy disk, and so on. This is the information storage. We can store the data with the help of computer devices, that is your CD, DVDs, and USB drives. Our RAM is the memory in which we can store the data. And we have also covered there are 2 types of devices, media, that is your external hard drive and internal hard drive. External is used when there is an external device attached to your computer, that is known as the external hard drive. Internal means that it is inbuilt into the computer. You need not to attach any device to the computer. That is already built into the computer, and you can use the computer for using that drive. Then we have also talked about multiple number system, multiple parts of our information storage. One is hexadecimal number system that we can use is in the number system. There are 4 types of number system: binary, octal, decimal, hexadecimal. So binary is that is represented by bits, octal is that is represented by 0 to 7, decimal means that is represented by 0 to 9, and hexadecimal means that is represented by 0 to 9 and then A to F. This is 0 to 9 or A to F. There are multiple parts. Then we also talked about what is the hexadecimal values, how we can convert binary to the hexadecimal values. This is a conversion, group into the 4 parts. This is group into the 4 digits starting from the right. These groups are then converted into the hexadecimal digits. Now next is how we can convert hexadecimal to decimal. This is the same scenario. This is 1 is denoted by 16 power 0 into 1, 16 power 1, that is at second location, third location, fourth location, fifth, sixth and so on location. So this is the method how we can convert hexadecimal to the decimal number system. This is the example. This is your hexadecimal, decimal. 5F is converted into decimal. So first of all, F have a value 15 and this is the right hand side digit. So this is 16 power 0, that is 1 into 15. Then 16 power 1, that is 16 into 5, that is your 5. This is 80, 15, that is your 95. Then we also talked about what is a word, means how we can store the data in a word format. We can store the data with the help of registers, processor, byte, bit or double word. Then we also talked about what is the data sizes in computer. There is a different data sizes like bit, byte, kilobyte, gigabyte, megabyte and so on. This is how we can store the data with the help of C language. Char takes 1 byte, 1 byte, 1 byte, 2 or 4 bytes, 2 bytes, 2 bytes, 4 byte and 4 byte. Then we also talked about how we can represent the string in the computer system. A string is nothing but a collection or array of characters that is stored with the help of the ASCII characters, that is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Then we also talked about some Boolean algebra, that is there are 3 types of connectors: and, or not. And is used for multiplication purpose. We can multiply 2 numbers with the help of AND operation. Then there is a OR operation, we can add 2 numbers. There is a NOT operator, we can give the reverse of that digit, means 0 is converted into 1 and 1 is converted into 0. And in OR condition, OR connector, if both the inputs are correct, then only output is correct, otherwise output is false. In OR operation, if one of the input is correct, then the output is correct, otherwise the output is incorrect. And in AND operation, in NOT operation, that converts or that translates from 0 to 1 and 1 to 0. This is false, 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 true, 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 false, true, 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 true. This is your OR operation. So we are talking about information storage, hexadecimal number system. This is the practice exercises. Then there is a word, data sizes. Then we also talked about how to represent the strings, that is string is an array of characters terminated by the null character. Then we also talked about how to represent the code in a computer system. Introduction to Boolean algebra. Doing this operation, this is AND, OR, exclusive OR and NOT operator. These are the practice exercises. Then we also talked about bit level operations in C. Then we also talked about logical operators, that is AND, OR, and NOT. So that's all for today's session. If you have any doubt, then please text the doubt and I will answer you. Okay, Nelda. So in the tomorrow's class, we will talk about the second topic, that is integral data type and the integer representation. So that's all for today's session. Now let's take the doubt.